What's going on, ladies? Welcome back to another episode of the LadyStrong Fitcast. Today, I'm going to be talking about 5 simple things that you could be doing every single day to help you reach your goals.
So the big question is this. How were 2 women who didn't cheat and purchase a gym franchise model, how were they able to spread their mission and purpose by empowering and transforming hundreds of women's lives through fitness, nutrition, mindset, and accountability with a micro gym business model of women only? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. We are LadyStrong Fitness.
All right, ladies, so it's just me here today. We're going to have a little coaches chat, a little coaches corner chat about 5 simple things that you can be doing every single day, 5 simple things to help you reach your goals and to see progress. Okay, so when it comes to these 5 things, we're going to be talking about, obviously, fitness. So no matter what your goal is, when you want to start seeing progress with it, whether it's weight loss, whether that's strength gains, if that's gaining more muscle, all of these goals are great goals, and I'm going to help you, give you some tips on how to get there and start seeing the progress that you want to see, okay? So first one that I'm going to talk about is consistency. When it comes to reaching your goals, you have to be consistent in order to see the progress over time, right? So, and that can be a number of different things, right? So number 1, we want to be consistent with our workouts, which I know a lot of you are. But sometimes we can make excuses, or I'm too tired, or I have this to do. You have to make your workouts a priority and make them consistent. For example, if your goal is to get stronger, but you're not being very consistent with your workout scheduling, and you're going in on random days and you're not keeping track, you're going to be up and down with your strength goals because you're not in there all the time working on it, right? Also that could be diet. Right? So sometimes we get in a kick where you're eating healthy for, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden one bad day or one weekend or maybe a trip turns into us going away from that. Right? It happens all the time. I know you guys know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to that. So you have to be consistent. We always talk about finding that balance in life, like the 80-20, like 80% of the time you should be eating nutritious, whole, healthy foods. And then that 20% of the time you do have a little bit more flexibility, okay? Having those sweets that you might be craving or whatever the case is. So we try to stick to that 80-20 rule always, right? Not 1 week you're 100% in and the next week you're, 10% good and 90% bad, because that's where you're going to see that up and down, that roller coaster. So number 1 is consistency. Okay, so let's go to number 2, because this is going to help with that consistency. So number 2 is plan. You must plan out everything when it comes to your goals. So for example, when it comes to your workouts, plan a month in advance. Schedule your classes out the days that you know you can be there, and make that a priority. Make those times to a priority and tell yourself, I am not canceling these dates. These are dates I'm going to know I'm going to be there, and go. Another thing is planning out your meals, right? Because a lot of times when it comes to food, we get so busy throughout the day, whether it's work or whether that's kids or things come up, life, right? We go with what's most convenient for the most of the times, and that is totally understandable. But make that convenience like a healthy option. So by meal prepping, because we always want to go for that quick meal right away, something that's easy for us. Whether it's on the go or we're busy, we're going to go for what's most convenient. So make sure you are meal prepping, or we have Meal Me by Soap. You can order meals that will show up at the studio on Monday, right? And then you have no excuses. You have meals in the fridge that you can just grab, heat up, and go, right? Instead of going through the drive-thru or eating a half a bag of potato chips because it was there and you were kind of hungry, So you have to plan these things out. It's a huge help, and it's a deal breaker. It really is. So plan. All right. Number 3. So number 3, I would like to say, do regular InBody scans. You must be doing this in order to see your progress, because if you are just stepping on a scale, you're not going to see the true data behind what that number means. Okay. So for example, I have a client that is like, I've been the same weight for this long, but I feel myself getting better. My clothes fit different. I look different. And I said, when was the last time you did an InBody scan? Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe it's been a few months. It's been a long time. You need to be doing these regularly. That way you can track it. Also, it goes back to the planning, to the consistency with your diet. For example, let's say you do an InBody scan, and the next 3 months you make it a priority. You're consistent with your workouts, you're planning your meals, and then you do an InBody scan a month later, maybe 2 months later. You can see how it's paying off. Or maybe you found yourself totally just kind of not being consistent, not eating well, and you take an InBody scan. You can see how that will affect you. That is going to give you hard data results. Okay, the way we feel is great, the way you look is great, but we can't get stuck with that number on the scale. Figure out what that number means, how it's broken down. It's going to be so helpful for you. Okay, so regular InBody scans. One more time for the people in back. Regular InBody scans. Do your InBody scans, girls. Number 4 is use all your resources. Okay, so at the studio, we provide so many resources for you guys to answer any and all the questions that you have, and all the tools to be successful when it comes to reaching your goals. Okay, so let's take the recovery room, for example. How often are you taking advantage of it? Are you taking advantage of it? I've seen members who have been there for years and maybe have been in the recovery room once or twice. Like, that is something you should be using on a consistent basis, because trust me, it does help. Okay. Number 2, take advantage of just the coaches or anybody in that studio that's going to be willing to answer any questions, again, that you have. For example, you're struggling with a particular workout or an exercise, or you just have a question about anything nutrition-wise, how many calories you should be eating, anything of that nature. Ask those coaches that are standing in front of you every single day. And if the coach maybe doesn't know the answer, or not right off the top of their head, guess what? We have all these podcasts, the one that you're listening to now, and hundreds before them, that could probably answer any question that you have. So if this is the first time you're listening to the podcast, well, I'm glad you're here. Go back and listen to all the episodes, or as many as you can. Binge listen. There's so much good information. Not just me, all Brittany, Marciea, past member experience. Maybe it's some advice. Maybe you just need to hear somebody else's story. Maybe you'll find that inspiration through somebody else. So those are another great tool to help you answer questions and just learn something new. We can always be learning. All right. And then number 5, this is going to be the last one that I talk about. So is going to be, are you taking advantage of the supplements that we provide in the studio? Okay, so supplements are called supplements for a reason. They're there to help you. They're there to supplement your workout routine, your diet. They're all there to aid and just help things. Maybe it's something that you struggle with specifically, but let's take sleep, for example. We have a supplement that can help you maximize your sleep, get better sleep, how you're recovering at night, things of that nature. If you're somebody who struggles with craving or late night snackings, guess what? We have a supplement for that too. Or if it comes to your workouts, you feel like you're fatiguing really quickly, or you find yourself super sore consistently, we have an intro. We have things that are going to help you with those things that you might be struggling with, and that could be totally something that could be out of your control. So we have all those supplements and all those things. Again, it's a supplement. It's there to help you and aid in all the things that you are working so hard at, because you guys do a lot. You guys do so much. You guys are consistent. You guys are working so hard in the studio. I know a lot of you committed to your diet, and that's great. But if there's any little thing, again, like your sleep or anything like that, we have supplements that are going to help you give that little extra boost that you might need to see some more results. Okay, so ask anybody in the studio, front desk, coaches. We can answer any questions, supplements. We can give you recommendations. We are all taking them as well. A majority of us are taking a lot of them, so we can tell you our results or how we've been feeling and how they work for us. So don't hesitate to ask questions, to take advantage of them. And that's it. Those are the 5 things that I wanted to talk to you about. So again, I'll go through them one more time. 1, consistency. Right? 2 is planning. Be a planner. Number 3, do regular InBody scans. Pretty please. If I find you in the studio, I'm going to ask you the last time you did an InBody scan. Number 4, use all the resources that we provide you at LSF. We have so many of them. And then the last one, number 5, is supplements. Okay, so asking questions and making sure that you're using those resources as well. All right, so remember those things. These are all things that you can start incorporating to start seeing progress with your fitness journey, no matter what that is. If you're just starting, right, if this is your first time doing anything fitness-wise, or if you are an expert 6 years in, we all have something that we struggle with. So don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Use these 5 tips. They're here to help you. And if you have any other questions, you know where to find me. You can leave a comment in the comments down below, any questions, and I'll be happy to help you out, get back to you as soon as you can. But thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys all have a fabulous day, and I will see you in the studio very soon. Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. If you like this episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel or find our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or whatever your favorite place is to listen to podcasts. And if you really liked this episode, please leave a review for us on iTunes. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.